Hey, welcome back to Wise Bites TV. Half of the dynamic duo of Dean and Josh. Today, this is going to be volume 3 of influencer marketing, and I wanted to point out that I'm a lifelong marketer and communicator, but I've only been in this space of content development and in the influencer space specifically for about 2 years. While Josh, when he speaks, he's got the marketing side. And he has a couple more years depth of experience in actually making and marketing influencer videos and content. So anyway, with that said, take what I'm saying as a guy who's been successful marketing and getting stuff out there. So today, we're going to talk about 3 things to connect with your audience and 3 ways to collaborate. Why do we want to focus on connecting with our audience, and why do we want to focus on collaborating? Why is this number 3 in the series of 10? Well, as content creators, we strive to make an impact, and we do that. And to do that, we need to forge relationships with our audience. And how do we do that, right? They're the backbone of everything that we do. So we need to figure out ways to connect with them, and we're going to go over some of those. And the other way to build that connection and credibility is to collaborate with others. Hey, as content creators, we strive to make an impact. In order to forge a genuine relationship with your audience and to connect with them, well, you got to find some common ground, right? So we're going to do 3 things, 3 ideas, how to connect with your audience. All right, number 1, host a themed monthly challenge. All right, so let's say you're a local influencer. You promote your community. You live somewhere cool and you want everybody else to know about it, and that's what you do. So what you could do is create to stay in your niche and to connect with your audience is create a 30-day challenge of sharing pictures. So people can share pictures. Part of the challenge could be of their local community or within your own local community, or both. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get traffic, right? Because you're going to get a whole bunch of different people involved. They're going to do it on their own platforms as well and share you. But you're going to have a real connection with these people because it's something that's sort of personal to everybody. It's something that's a passion to everybody, because if they're there in it and they're looking at your platform, whatever your channel may be, and it's about traveling to certain kinds of charming, quaint towns, seascapes, whatever it may be, then there's a real connection there, and you're fostering that. So some specifics on this is, for this example of a local influencer, is use a dedicated hashtag, right? So you probably know that. You want to feature your audience's photos or video clips would be awesome on your platform, and reward the ones that are most creative, the most engaging, have some kind of shout out. You can do a prize, but I think it's something like this, a shout out works really well. So this is a simple sort of thing to execute, right? You don't have to have any many rules or whatever, and try it and do it over and over again until you get one that works really right. But it's an easy way to form a bond with fellow content developers and your audience, and get everybody involved. Right, from this particular one and a lot of things, just remember that you're allowing them to express their interest, right? So it's not about you, you're making it about them, and that's how you connect with people. Hey, all right, so number 2 on how to connect with your audience. Hey, consider having an AMA, ask me anything. First, go watch a few of them. Check out like Instagram stories, Twitter, or YouTube Live. Those are good for this. I tend to like to listen, follow some of these on Twitter. But go ahead and do it and check it out and see how people are marketing it and how they're executing it. But again, you could make it about them. You have them ask you anything, but it's the things that they're interested in. And so what are you doing? You're creating a connection. You're generating some content that you would have never got on your own. Whenever you invite people to express their interests, concerns, their fears, their loves, whatever it may be, well, 90% of those things aren't things that you would have thought of. So you're expanding your content and you're making it more worthwhile for everybody else. And I mentioned earlier that I'm looking at this from a marketing communication perspective. So that piece, that content of your content is really marketable. And so that's what you want to remember, is that you're creating little tidbits of marketable content that you can help build your entire platform or content. So number 3 on how to connect with your audience, consider creating a virtual book or movie club, or actually podcast, or any form of entertainment out there. And so what you do is do it monthly. Maybe do one day where you invite your audience. You pick a book prior, or a movie. Maybe, a podcast, probably really good. Everybody picks another podcast that they like, right? Let's say you're doing a podcast like this one, and then everybody talks about it, just like a book club. You do it on a monthly basis, and it will grow, and people get to hear themselves. People get to interact with you. And so that's going to create another bond. And so if you add just the three things that we talked about together, or variations of that, and you add that, you put it in your monthly mix, well, you're all of a sudden, you've got something that's consistent. We talked about in Volume 1 consistency. You have something that's consistent, that's going to build upon itself, and that's going to have some great connection with your audience, because that's what you want, because you want them to keep coming back. Hey, now we're going to talk about three things on how and why to collaborate with others. So we talked about ways to connect with your audience, where they're in essence, you're collaborating, but it's on a grander scale. But find somebody else who has a following and has a complementary niche to whatever you're doing, and look for ways to collaborate with them. So what are you going to get out of it? Well, they have a whole audience, right? So you get exposed to them. They're going to have a perspective that you don't have. You're going to get that perspective. So you are going to be more interesting to your audience, and you're going to be exposed to that other person's audience, and hopefully more interesting to them. So let's say, for example, you want to collaborate, you want an idea to collaborate with someone else, is have a monthly theme, come up with a theme that fits in your niche, and collaborate with a different person every month, a different content producer every month, that has some kind of content that you find, interesting. Right. Hey, let's go back to our, a local influencer. Let's say, for example, you're a travel content developer. You can start a series called Hidden Gems, right? And so here's my Hidden Gem series, and I'm gonna hit up another content developer every month, a different one every month, where they talk about their hidden gem, right? So it's easy, it builds upon consistency, and you're having the credibility of being in bed with somebody else who is successful. And number two, ideas to collaborate with others. Tie in something that is really marketable, right? So let's say you pick not-for-profit, and you do a fundraising event, podcast, and so you go and you collaborate with others who have a following and have a complementary niche, something that doesn't compete with you, and you form something with them. Say, hey, let's pick a charity, give them some options, this one, or this one, and we're going to do a fundraising for them. And so now you've given everybody an excuse to come together. It's all for something good, and everybody in that kind of atmosphere, it tends to be a little bit more lighthearted and passionate, because it's something that they care about. So pick a charity, pick something in need, go find 5-6 people, do it all together, or do it on a regular basis, like a series of 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. And then you'll see that it'll gel together, and you'll get, again, establish your credibility, or further establish your credibility, and you will grow your audience. Hey, here's something for idea number 3 that Josh and I had talked about. We haven't done yet, but have a skills challenge, right? So whatever your niche is, right, find somebody with a competing niche, or something that has some overlap, and have a skills challenge. Have like a debate, and something where you're kind of go head to head. If you want to get a moderator, find somebody else, that's cool. But prepare it ahead of time. Say, hey, these are the 6 things I'm going to challenge you on. Come up with 6 things you're going to challenge me on, and then debate them, because it'll make it interesting. You don't have to go all out brawl, and that might get you some followers, but it'll be interesting. So do that skills challenge. And so that is our idea number 3 for how to collaborate with others. But honestly, those are just 3 things that I've come up with from things that we've either tried or we're intending to try. But my list for me of ways to collaborate and ways to connect is just way greater. It's more than I can accomplish. but there's a lot out there. So just make sure you spend a little bit of time, jot them down, cross out the ones that you can't execute, and just keep going. Connect with your audience, collaborate with others.